Milford from KiwiFil Drones. Thanks very much for joining us. And can you hear us?
All good. Yeah, I got you guys.
Yes. Oh, thanks so much for tuning in. This guy's the master of the FPV Cinelifter. And yes, we thought we'd bring you along for this exciting live stream, chat with him and his thoughts. And yes, that's right. And we're going to look at his design. It is the newest, the best modular FPV Cinelifter there is. Check it out. And there's a little glimpse. It's very, very quick glimpse there. And yes, we're just going to get your thoughts and welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me on, guys. Really, really fun to be here. It's nice that you guys have got a good build set up. I really like. I was saying earlier, I really like your jackets and your sign, your neon, and everything. It's all matching. Love it.
Cheers.
Yeah.
No, very cool. And we really like your KD7. Yes, and all your drones. They're all great. That's right, because you've got different configurations, don't you, for different setups?
Yeah, the whole range. I mean, I started several years ago just doing like the 3-inch to 2.5-inch, just because I needed something. There was nothing available that I wanted. Like there were other good options available, but nothing that had all the features I wanted. So I started designing my own, and because I was using it for work as well, so I wanted something with specific features that were super light. And
yeah, so why not make it yourself, right?
Exactly. Yeah, just made it myself, and then went from there. They got bigger and bigger, and now here we are doing big Cinelifters and all the fun stuff.
Yeah. And we'll just pause there for a second. Could you explain for the people out there what is an FPV Cinelifter for the people that might be tuning in now or later on? What is an FPV Cinelifter for those people?
So, I mean, the simple answer is that it's anything that carries a cinema camera.
Right.
It kind of depends on who you ask, really. It's sort of a colloquial definition. It's not really fixed. Basically, if it's a camera that's better than a GoPro, bit better quality, bit more expensive, either larger payload, then it's usually a Cinelifter. Obviously, the definition, as cameras change, like we're getting super small, really nice cameras now, the definitions change. But historically, it's been, some cool guys that were starting in the early days of FPV, starting to put the first black magic cameras on FPV drones. They called them Cinelifters, and then the name sort of stuck from there. So basically anything with a nice camera on it as an FPV drone, that's what we call a Cinelifter.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, you can see different formats that people put them in. Sometimes they put so here's the one that we're talking about today. This is the KD7.
There it is.
So, there she is. There she is. So we've done some custom modifications as well. But so there's different configurations. One, you could solid mount it, right? For this particular one, you can change. We've only got 4 motors on here, but you can add more motors. You can do reverse thrusters, correct?
Absolutely.
And then some people can do put a gimbal with a camera on top or underneath. Yeah, or underneath, you could do, yeah.
Yeah, so with these ones, they're just I tried to make it have as many mounting options as possible, especially this one, the 7-inch. It's a really versatile size because you've got the X4 and you can lift a light but nice camera, and it gives nice power and efficiency, but you can go X8 and put another 4 motors on the bottom and lift a Komodo or an FX6 or a 1 to 1.5 kilo camera in the same form factor.
Really heavy stuff.
It has naked black magic mounting. I basically just want to squeeze as much in there as possible, so you can put the camera in different positions. And it was a pain to get everything to fit in properly, but it was fun.
Yeah, it's a great design. I think which one did we put mounted? The light version.
CDM light.
CDM light. Your KDM CDM light. And you got 3 options there, but you can also if you're for some particular reason you wanted to put it underneath, you can do that and just extend the legs. There's lots of options there. It's quite cool. Very cool. Yeah. And you got the battery mount if you want to do X8.
Yeah, exactly. So the way that works, you have your battery straps on the bottom instead, and then you have a plate underneath it, and then there's sticky battery pad on the plate as well, and the strap goes around both, and then you've got TPU feet, so it lands on the plate and it protects your battery, and it gives you a bit of height so the propellers don't hit it.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea. Very cool. All right.
Put that aside.
And thanks everyone for joining in. Thanks very much for tuning in. We appreciate everyone, and make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't done already to both our YouTube channels. and also comment as much as you want below.
That's right.
Yes.
Do we have any other questions, Aaron?
Maybe we'll go back to like the origins of how you got into drones. How did you get into drones, Milford?
So I as far as back as I can remember, I always liked trying to fly like little model planes and stuff as a kid. I didn't do it that much, but it was always fun. I would like crash it into a tree, and then maybe a year later I'd get another for Christmas or something.
Yeah.
Small. And then I like bought myself some really tiny little like brushed motor toy drones when I was a teenager. That was super fun, just like flying those around line of sight. And then when I was at uni, I started seeing, like everyone else, I started seeing all the cool like FPV Instagram, YouTube videos, all that stuff. It's like, oh, this is like Mr. Steele and Chapu, all those cool people. Yeah. All that sort of stuff, like everyone did. And I was like, oh, I'd love to build one of those. And so I remember I got all the parts together. And do you remember the UAV Futures $100 FPV build? It was like an old classic video where Stu was he did this like $100 build, and I sort of copied that a little bit. And so I got all the parts from AliExpress, like put it together, and then obviously built it, crashed it into a tree, and like smashed it up.
That's the Australian dude.
Yeah, Australian dude. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, and then obviously like watching all the YouTubers and like seeing all the cool stuff that people are doing, just got really into it. And then eventually started once I got hooked, started slowly filming stuff, and it sort of went from there. And then started doing some more regular work from it while I was at uni. And then went into filming with drones full time after that.
Cool, nice.
Yeah, that's the best result, really.
Yeah, do what you love, right?
Absolutely, yeah, always.
Yeah. And what's your approach to like say the YouTube aspect of filming? What do you sort of aim for in that? Is it sort of like instructional type stuff, or?
Yeah, it's a couple of things. It's really useful for me as like a place to put all the videos for my products as like instruction guides, like showing people how to build them, like how they fly. Because when I sell stuff, people always have loads and loads of questions, and I like to have two. I've got two places I put everything. It's either on the website with all the details, or it's in the YouTube video. And go there first, and then come and ask me your questions after that, and then I'll help you.
So basically, you kind of like frequently asked questions in the YouTube.
Yeah. I like just having places people can go and see all the stuff and inform themselves on all the stuff, and then come and ask me questions. I find it really useful for that. And then I'd like to put more work up on my YouTube, like some of the actual, because I do a lot of filming and stuff, and I can't show all of it, and I get busy, and then I can't edit. I don't have time to edit it, so I'd like to start doing more of that stuff, and maybe some more like behind the scenes of film, like all the shoots and stuff I do. But again, it's time consuming, so yeah,
it's right. It all takes time. You're right. So you can't be on the film shoot if you're meant to be editing and vice versa, right?
Yeah. Can't be at two places at the same time, right?
Except for me and Harry, we can be.
Yeah. You guys can.
No. And what about you, Harry? What was our origin story? If we could say it in a real quick way.
We used to fly. Like 20 years ago. So RC planes, drones didn't exist back then, but we always said that if the opportunity arose when they put the cameras on the plane or on the drone,
what we call FPV now, but it didn't exist
then. No.
Then
that was what we wanted way back then, but that didn't exist back then. So yes, we had to wait a few years, and then eventually it came back to Harry. That's pretty much it, really. Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
full circle. Yes, and I guess we'll dive a little bit more into the KD7.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. So like, what's your design process to get to this finished result?
So the KD7 basically is a smaller version of the KD9, which is the 9-inch Cinelifter, slightly bigger one.
Yeah.
And that came about as sort of, I wanted to do a Cinelifter for a while, but there were already lots of good options available, and I didn't want to do it unless I could provide something new that I actually wanted to use, instead of just using because I had other Cinelifters that I used myself before, from other manufacturers and all that.
Okay.
So I wanted to hit something that was really easy to use in terms of like mounting options, being able to mount loads of different cameras. I wanted it to be really agile and also really light. And after playing around with a bunch of different ideas, the first thing I did was actually the camera mount. So the KDCM, because I did, like you can see up here, like some of the big Cinelifter. I did those first.
Yeah,
nice.
I wanted a camera mount for that because the DAC mount, which is really good, which a lot of people use, comes from America, and so a lot of people in Europe couldn't get them easily. So I wanted to make like a European option here that people could use, and so I made the like all carbon version of the camera mount, the KDCM.
right.
And I use like the vertical locking plates that people have been using in various different other designs. That works really well for that. And then with that sort of interlocking design, that developed into the KD9, but using like the I-beam design instead.
Yeah.
So locking three plates together with nuts and bolts without having to use any CNC parts because they're expensive and they take longer to produce and they're harder to get. And it like drives the price up and all of that.
Yeah.
So
Well, I-beams are the second strongest shape.
Yeah, exactly. Super strong. So like it, is if you can't get tubes, then I-beams are pretty good. So it sort of evolved into that, and there were a couple of various iterations, or like loads of extra struts and stuff, and it was just sort of a various sort of several month long iteration process, coming up with the 9-inch, which actually the one that you can see right there.
Yeah.
And just lots of testing and lots of like I spent a lot of time in CAD, sort of dreaming things up, and so after ages of sort of doing that and a bunch of testing, I found something that was super light and really, really stiff. And it just kind of worked out really, really nice.
So you do quite a lot of like flight testing, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you go out and fly it?
Sorry, say that again.
So once you're happy, you've done the CAD design, you've cut it out. You like quite an extensive testing regime kind of thing, trying to find the tunes, etc., etc.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of like some designs don't even make it out of the house. So I'll do a hover test, and then something doesn't work, and so I redo it. But then once it's good enough to like fit everything properly and fit all the components, and it tunes well enough, then I'll take it out, start doing some more tests, put some payloads on it, put some cameras on it, get like flight time, performance, agility, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it was quite interesting too because you were talking about the fact that it's modular, you can put lots of different things on it.
Oh yeah.
What's your sort of aspect for like all the different because you've got like different holes and parts to attach things. So you just sort of like lay it all out, or
so it's a lot of like experience in what I know works with my other designs, and so for example with the camera mounting, I'll start with where I want the field of view to go, so which lens I want people to use and which I think might be most common, and so where like how far forward the camera needs to go in order to not have the props in view in the camera, and then where the battery mounting needs to go, so where the battery straps need to go, and then I'll move in to like secondary positions that the camera can go if you want to point it like higher up, and you can put it more central. You want to put a big battery on the bottom, so it stems all from the camera and like where you want to put the camera and how you can make it all work easily together, so it's easy to use when you're filming, basically. So it all sort of camera first, basically. What you want to do and how you're going to get the base around it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so that's like number one if you're talking about triage system triage system, that would be ranked number one. What is the flight performance like, and then all the other stuff sort of has to slot in there somewhere around it, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot to consider.
First and foremost is your shot, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you sort of I often sort of build the drone around the camera.
Yeah,
nice. Oh, that's great. And what kind of software do you use?
Oh, for CAD design.
Yeah.
So I use Fusion 360. I used to use SolidWorks. I swapped over to Fusion 360, and I use that for all my CAD design. It works really.
I guess we used to use SolidWorks at uni, and now I think we just use Design Spark. Yeah, and a bit of Fusion 360 for like the CNC stuff as well. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a great software for sure. It's quite easy to use too. It's not like you don't get bogged down too much.
SolidWorks you do a bit.
No, SolidWorks you do.
Not to bag SolidWorks out.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's cool.
No, it's quite a process, I can imagine.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, it is, and it's good because a lot of things carry over from other designs. So like all the camera mounting positions, like what works well with balance, like stack mounting, VTX mounting, all that stuff is the same across a lot of different designs because it's the same principles. Like motor mounting, like spacing of a part of motors, all that sort of stuff is common across a lot of them. So you can bring those over from different designs when you're making something different. But also you've got to be careful not to just bring over too much because you're trying to create something different.
Kind of make a new line design, yeah. No, well, it's a great design.
So it'd be a bit like making a sequel to a film, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah, and we got to test it. Yeah, we got to test that last week, Tuesday. We got to build it, and then next.
Yeah,
week.
so Tuesday this week came out the first part one episode of the KV7, and then obviously we're doing this interview now, and then next week Tuesday at 6 a.m. is the final installment where we actually get to fly this bad boy for real. Yeah. So we've already filmed it, so we already know it works really well. But yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I can say a little bit. We can say that it's super smooth, and it's when you want the punch is there. So yeah, that's what you want,
and it feels very familiar to a 5-inch. That's what, and my anyway.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good.
Which is what we wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we wanted.
Yeah. Obviously, you can feel the momentum's different, but I mean that's fine. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah.
No, it's great. And okay. Here's a question that I wrote down. How are the drones made? So we got the CNC, like the CNC side, that side, you know, the manufacturing side.
Yeah. So I've got a partner in the UK that does all the CNC manufacturing. So it's all made in the UK. You know, all CNC'd here, and then I source all the like hardware, various different companies, some stuff in the UK.
Nice.
And then also things like custom battery straps, like those are made in China. I've got a company that does those for me. There's like all the various bits come together, and then I assemble them into kits.
Nice.
And then
so you get quite a lot of packages from different places, don't you?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a lot about like relationships with people, making sure that you know they know exactly the right things to do, and they're doing it how you want them to do. And they can also feed back into you and like the manufacturing process, saying, oh, if you change this slight thing in the design, it might make it easier to manufacture. All that sort of stuff, which is nice to do.
That's quite cool. It'd be quite an interesting process packing it all too, like making sure all the bolts are in the right place.
Like, oh yeah, I've got massive like drawers with loads and loads of different individual boxes with all the labeled screws and everything all organized out. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, you can have it so it's like all like manufacturing, and there's like 3 bolts going.
Yeah. That's the next step.
Yeah, just like
production line.
Yeah, 3D printer like a part.
Actually, when we were at uni, we did a bit on designing a production like conveyor belt system and stuff. It's full on, I can say.
It's hilarious.
Oh
yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess that kind of leads to the next question. Like, how big is your team? I guess you got the guys overseas, the battery straps and those sorts of things. But like, is it just you, or is there like lots of other people that help you out?
Because boutique's good.
Yeah,
then,
we like small.
Then you're like, what's the other version? Like Google, huge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty small. I mean, it's me doing most of the stuff, and then I hire various different people, like for the carbon cutting, for acquiring stuff.
You can't do everything.
I definitely can't do everything myself because I'm spending a lot of time out filming, doing shoots and stuff. So, help with packing stuff up and all of that. But currently I'm still doing a lot of stuff. But as it gets bigger, that will change. I'll do more of the design stuff.
Yeah. Well, the great thing about keeping it small is that you don't have all the big giant overheads.
You don't. Yeah, that's right.
It's great. No, we'll keep it up, man. We'd really like. We're big fans of your work. So yeah.
I appreciate it. It's really cool. Like we were saying earlier, it's one of my favorite parts about it is seeing various different frames and stuff all over the world being flown in every corner, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Well, we're over in New Zealand. You're over in the UK, right?
Yep.
Nice. Very cool. What's the time over there anyway, just out of curiosity?
It is 8:20 in the evening.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, it's about
9:20. So
9:20 in the afternoon, in the evening.
Yeah.
Morning. Sorry.
Nice. You got a day ahead of you.
Yeah, no, so I think we're on day at 7 times.
Yeah. And no, it's great. Yeah, and whereabouts? I think people would like to know, where do you get your ideas from? Is it from like constant R&D, or do you like just like sometimes we might get ideas with just like things in real life?
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm always thinking about like designs and how to make things better and the next thing. Like I've got the next probably like 5 designs in my head. I have for a while. So it usually starts with like a type, like let's say I want to make like a 5-inch that does something specific, and then I'll slowly sort of think about it and get to places and like try and make criteria that things that I want it to do, things where I want it to be better than others, things where I don't mind if it's worse, because you've got to make compromises everywhere. And then I'll just be thinking about that for a long time. I'll start writing certain points down that I want it to hit. And then eventually I'll get into the CAD and just start drawing things out. And like inspiration comes from everywhere. I mean, it's, there's the culmination of all the things that we've seen, like all the different 5-inch frames that I've built and flown myself from other people that made things that come before. Like there's no one sits down and comes up with a completely original drone by themselves, obviously, right? Like there are so many cool things that other people have done over the past like 5-10 years. And you're just trying to like improve on that and do something new and make it your own. And it's like it's cool. And even sometimes like some new things that I've done, other people have seen, oh, that's a really good idea, like gone a different way but used some elements of it, and that's cool as well. So there's a lot of like collaboration. I also talk to some other people on what designs they think might be good and what they think don't work so well. There's feedback on like other pilots on what features they want in frames. So I take all this in, and then I basically just sort of sit down in front of the computer and try and like think really hard of how I want it to work. And then a lot of it is just problem solving. So once you know what you want it to do, and all the constraints you have, like the props got to be a certain distance away from each other, it's got to fit this size camera mount, all that sort of stuff. It's just problem solving, like working out where all the bits of carbon have to go in order to solve the problems that you've set out for yourself. And sometimes like new things come up out of that, and sometimes I'll just be like walking down the road on the way to something and I'll just think of something that makes it better and I'll put that in. So it comes from all sorts of different places.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Yeah,
a very good answer. Couldn't do it better myself.
What about for our designs for our stuff? What would you say?
Just I guess.
Well, I'll give you an insight on this one. The one that's coming out on part 2 on Tuesday. So this looks like a camera, right? Does it?
It does from here.
Yeah, it's not.
Something a little bit interesting about the front. Yeah.
It's something else.
That's all I'm going to say.
It's a hint. So it's not actually a camera. It's something else. So you'll find out on Tuesday what that is. Even Milford doesn't know.
That's right. Yeah. So there's always you got it. It's like you were talking about with looking at what's been done before, or what needs to be improved, or not that there's a camera. You can't really improve a camera, but just something different. And then looking at a different aspect of what's
been before, what hasn't been done.
Yeah, look at it from a different aspect sometimes.
Nice. Yeah.
From a design aspect, from like say a drone to a video or a plane or whatever it is that you're doing. It could even be music. It could be anything, or car design or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I think you gotta keep an open mind when designing stuff, I think.
That's right.
Yeah. And jumping on to the next question, what was a day in the life of KD Drones? What was a typical day would look like?
It's different every day. Always something different. Either it'll be like a shoot day. Well, I'm working on some production, and that's sort of reasonably standard, but always something different or interesting, or sometimes really boring. It depends. But usually something interesting. I'll pack up either in the morning or the night before, and charge all the batteries and go out and do the shoot and come back, and then I have to discharge the batteries I haven't used and take down all the kit and all of that. Or it'll be like an admin day where I've got to either prep for a bunch of stuff, or work with clients, or like send stuff to my editor and like get revisions back and answer emails, all the usual like business non stuff. Or it'll be I might do some design stuff, or like testing. There's always so much stuff I've got to test, like new things, new builds I want to do, new designs. So yeah, it's a mix of that sort of thing.
Nice. No, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Run us through a day in the life of making something.
We get up about 5 sometimes, maybe 6.
Normally 6, sometimes 5. That's all the sending off content stuff that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. Our crazy content schedule, and then we get up, and then what do we do? I guess,
and then we sort of work out what we're going to do that day. So we've got like quite a very tight schedule turnover, like you're talking about,
for YouTube. Yep.
Yeah. So different designs. So at the moment, we're working on about 5 projects at the same time.
Nice.
And then sometimes like
there's various stages.
Yeah, various stages. That keeps it quite interesting. So whether it's a drone or it's something else, or
something that doesn't exist. It's an interesting one, especially when you're going into the stuff that hasn't existed before. It's an interesting one because it hasn't been tested. So you like you were talking before previous to this live stream, we were chatting with Milford, and we were just talking about other projects we've done with the, like for instance, you brought up the FPV helicopter, rocket helicopter. I mean, that hadn't been done before. So when we took off, that was you could have gone either way. It could have blown up. Like you put the stress on the props.
Yeah.
It could have been disastrous.
There's no way to test it until you actually do it live.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It's kind of even like a psychological thing, if anything. Sometimes.
Yeah.
You gotta amp yourself up to do it, really.
So
but it makes it exciting. Like we don't do like we're part of a flying club and stuff, but we don't tend to do too much, just like recreational flying or that kind of discipline too much, because we're always like, I'll just wait until I do this one-off concept.
Yeah,
stunt. So you kind of like become stunt pilots in a way, where you just go out and do you won't do any practice, won't do any training. Like the time that you're talking about that rocket helicopter, we hadn't flown that other than maybe 2 other hovers. You just go out and do it, just one off, bam, pull out, or you've got to reboot it now.
But so that's kind of our schedule, really. I hope that was a good answer.
Yeah, nice, good stuff.
Yeah. And what motivates you? What motivates you?
What gets you up in the morning?
Yeah,
that's a good one. I think doing cool stuff that I enjoy is really helpful, but also having cool things that you're creating. I want to release this design. I want to get it done. I want to go on these cool shoots and film stuff because I really enjoy filming stuff. I like making things. I want to get to this stage so that I can do these productions, work with these clients, that sort of stuff. It's just it's just like making stuff. I really enjoy making stuff. I always have. I think that's the main thing with what I'm doing.
It's always cool problem solving, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's it like working on set, because it's something that we've never done before?
Yeah,
what's that like?
It varies. It varies a lot. I mostly enjoy it. There's a lot of weird things sometimes. You can work on small sets with a few people on them, closed off stuff, or you could work on sets with hundreds of people on them, and it's either it could be super nice, super organized, everyone knows what they're doing, or it's like a nightmare and people running around and the directors shouting with megaphones. It depends a lot.
Wow, that's interesting.
You see everything, and there are people that work on way bigger stuff than I do that have other cool experiences. It's really nice meeting new people that have really cool skills and that have really cool stories to tell, and that can like, you know, just share their experiences. That's one of the best bits. Just, you know, meeting lots of new people. But often working as a drone crew, you go in and you might, if people work on a lot longer production, you get to meet them. It's really cool, but then you go off and you go do the next one. Whereas they might get to, you know, be there for several weeks and get to know everyone. So it's sort of a mix. Sometimes you work on longer things, maybe a week or so. I don't do a lot of the really long stuff, but yeah, I imagine that would be fun as well. But yeah, that's one of the things that is the best bit, is all the new people you get to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, because they've all got like this incredible amount of people with like amazing skills doing that kind of thing. You know, all the way through the production. They're not just the actors and they're not just the director. There's lots of other highly skilled people, right?
Yeah, loads of that. And some people are completely useless as well, but often highly skilled people.
Oh, thanks. This is a great show today. Oh, thanks, man. Cheers, brother. Thanks for joining too. Yeah, no, it's an interesting world that you live in. It's a very exciting world.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Maybe we should work on a couple of films with Peter Jackson. Come on, Peter, help us out.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
We've got the KD7 now. You can help us out.
Yeah.
No, that's very cool. And I did. There was a movie. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It's called Ambulance. Have you seen that one with the Michael Bay?
Yeah. I watched it on a plane. I can't remember where I was going, but yeah, I watched it on a plane.
Nice.
And as long as you didn't see snakes on the plane at the same time.
No, not that one.
But yeah, the reason why I was saying about Ambulance is because there was one of the. I'm not sure if it was. There was a Cinelifter.
Action.
Who was the pilot? Was it Johnny FPV? I'm not sure.
Alex Vanover, yeah.
That's the one. Yeah. Anyway, and
the two guys.
It seemed like a cool dude, and he flew under a
car doing a jump, and he flew underneath it.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I was just saying, is those the kind of cameras that you can fit on your drones?
Yep.
Or working towards, or what was it, IMAX?
Absolutely.
Komodo.
Yeah. So I mean, I've got one that I'll put on something like this or something like this. And
so that's 89.
Yeah, the 9-inch. Yeah, exactly that sort of thing. But yeah, sometimes even bigger stuff. They're using like 11, 13 inches, and then you get into like heavy lift stuff, which I don't do. I don't do any heavy lift, but that's, you know, like 20-inch plus drones with massive gimbals on, zoom lenses, and all that sort of stuff. But that's also really cool. But I don't do that. I stick to the smaller stuff.
Nice. Well, it's not that small.
yeah, still pretty big, but yeah, relatively.
Yeah. Well,
I guess we made a Cinelifter with a 13-inch prop. That has a
nice
Ronin gimbal camera on it.
Oh, you're sitting on the roof.
RS2 on it, I think. Yeah.
Very nice.
But it's got a 13-inch. But we're quite liking the KD7 when it was out and about, when we got to fly it. But just amazing design, really. It's one of those things where you've clearly
thought about it
and taken into account what people want to see. That's good to see.
Yeah, that's a lot of what it is.
And we're always believers of things that are modular, or things that you can adapt over time. Like like we were talking about how you can put you can change the configuration. Like at the moment, it's set up as X4, but you can do X8.
We love that.
And you can change, like you've got different mounting holes and stuff for various setups, or move we've got the light camera mount on at the moment, but you could put the regular big Komodo attachment, or put a plate underneath. Yeah, so something like that's always good. Say this year is all good like that configuration, but next year, or you're talking about film shoots, the director goes, I want you to use a such and such camera. Do you have something that's suitable? Okay, boom, and you just change it up overnight, or in a week's time, bam. Yep, I can do that.
Yep.
That kind of thing's pretty cool. Absolutely.
And have you done that sort of thing where you had to change it overnight, no sleep, and then on a film shoot?
Not like mid shoot, but there have been quite a few where it's, you've got something the next day, or it comes up in the next couple of days, or you don't have enough time. You got to pull an all-nighter to build a drone and like get it all set up and ready as like even as like a backup. You know, if you've got only one of something, you need a backup of it. So building the backup and making sure it's all working and stuff. That's happened before.
Yeah, that was just. Well, it's like I think they talk about when you're doing presentations, like and with a crowd or something, they always say like take like 10 backups. Like if like if you're doing, especially with PowerPoint, that horrible thing. I just forgot the batteries. Oh well, I can't do it now. But you're gonna have like 16 pairs of batteries and like a USB plus a CD plus a HDMI.
So I guess that Richard's question is, for a big film shoot like that, do you take a couple of drones with you, or
it was just saying it? Oh,
yeah.
Batteries, chargers.
No.
Yeah, do double of everything, several drones. Yeah, backups of everything if possible.
What about your cameras? Do you have a particular one that you would recommend for the KD7 for people that are listening?
Yeah, for the 7-inch, the two main ones are the Blackmagic Micro 4K G2, super nice, with like a Laowa 7.5mm or a 9mm or a 10mm manual lens, or the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. That's also super nice. Both of those have fixed sensors, which is what you want. And they're both really light. Super nice. The Blackmagic has B-RAW, which some directors or editors might prefer. The Sony has a screen on it built in, which is useful. With the Blackmagic, you have to plug a screen in to see what you're doing with changing settings. So they're pros and cons to each, but those are the two I'd recommend for the 7-inch.
And for those people watching, we've used an A6400, or is it? Find out.
Yes, and that was the Sony, I think. Sony, yeah. And yes, and and when you go to test flight, say the KD7, do you have a special place that you can say online where you go?
There's somewhere pretty close by that's just like some open fields that I can go to. That's pretty chill. So that's usually where I test my stuff.
Right. No, that's good. I think when we do our stuff, we it's New Zealand, so our rules of like drones and planes are pretty relaxed, really. Yeah. So you can pretty much go anywhere as long as you get permission. So we fly at different places. One's Rugby Field, and the other one's aerodromes. So we fly around other real life planes with pilots in them, but it's all sanctioned off. It's all loud, but it is in the back of your mind. You're like, wow, is this real? But yeah, it is. It's real.
It's all good.
Nice.
So happy, we're happy.
Yeah. Keep it safe. All good.
Yeah, but there's something quite special about launching your plane or drone or whatever it is that you're doing, and then like a microlight just goes past like that.
Yeah, I bet that's fun. Yeah.
And how do you test when you go to testing your frames? Do you test them in software first, like for stress and strain? This is a more technical question for people out there. Those sorts of things, right. Or is it maybe because
it might be based on like a physical thing, like you know what works and what proves to work, and then you just go out and test based on like a previous design kind of thing. So because some people approach differently, like say F1 cars, they base it on the digital from a theoretical point of view, but they never actually test it until they go out on track day.
It's interesting with FPV. What I've found, because there have been some people doing modeling and stress analysis in CAD on FPV frames. What I found is that it's so complex, and the forces and the aerodynamics especially involved are so complex that the modeling software and the expertise required is so beyond anyone in like the FPV industry that it's not worth even attempting. So maybe if you're a Formula One team, you could give it a go, but realistically, it's about experience. It's about testing things a lot. It's about knowing what works. It's about doing iterations and like coming up with new wacky ideas, seeing what works well, doing a lot of like proving through actually flying it. A lot of black box logging to check resonant performance, and like checking the footage, making sure everything's clean. It's a lot of that sort of stuff. So there are definitely people and companies that can model this stuff and do it really well, but these are not the FPV companies that that sell you frames and Cinelifters and stuff like that, because realistically it's not worth the investment that you would have to make to do it accurately, because it's really hard.
Yes.
Yes. So we did a little bit at uni to do with, I think it was bridge breaking, I think it was. I think we're making a design.
Which is relevant. People might be thinking, oh, what's the relevance to a bridge? In this particular case, the great design about this is an I-beam design, which is very traditional of what bridges are made up of.
That's right. Yeah. So you could do it like for arms or something like that.
I remember in my
I-beam's pretty close.
Yeah, I remember in my mechanical engineering course at uni, I was doing a similar thing to the sort of bridge analysis, and then you do some sort of finite element analysis and all that sort of stuff, some basic modeling, and I remember that.
Did you get to do a practical thing at the end of it? Hopefully you did.
Yep. Yeah.
No, nice. And they had like a little competition.
He's doing the practical thing right now.
Yeah, this is the real.
Yeah, exactly. Doing it right now. Yeah, doing it already.
Nice. Yeah. No, it's good. Yeah, it's great. And I guess on lighter things. So, what's your favorite movie?
That's hard and it changes. I'd say at the moment I've got to say Dune Part 2. That's got to be my favorite.
Oh yeah.
It just in terms of like pure cinema experience, I don't. Nothing's beat it so far.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, well, the dragonflies out there are pretty cool, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The helicopter type things. Yeah. It's good. I quite enjoyed the part 1 version of the Dune. Not to back, but
really good.
One.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the actors or something. I can't remember. There's a reason.
No, it's one of those ones where it kind of reminded me of the original, or not the original, but like the Dark Knight kind of Christopher Nolan's kind of cinematography.
Yep. Yeah. Christopher Nolan does awesome stuff. I'm a big fan.
Yeah. No, very cool. But of course, it was it's filmed in a desert. Yes, it's a desert film. But
yeah.
The people that don't know what Dune is, that's the movie of the week, movie of the live stream. So,
yeah.
That's good. And I guess what? Hang on. So it's okay. It's we would highly recommend the KT7 for the people that are watching. It's good. We've done some modifications to it. I'm not sure if you can see at this point, but we made a high-res kit ourselves just to fit this camera. But all in all, pretty good. These are all the motors and all suggested by you. We talked quite closely when we were deciding what flight controller and ESCs, etc. to choose. So thanks very much for that help. And the tune seems to be amazing. Tune in terms of PIDs and all that kind of stuff. It seems to be really, really good, nice and smooth. And if you wanted to get the PIDs, just go to your website, right? That's where you go to find that.
It's all there.
And also the frame and all that.
That is a hard thing when you get like a new drone. You can't get all the.
That's right. Yeah. Where do I go to get the tune? So it's all included, isn't it?
It's all there. Yeah. Obviously, for people, use it at your own risk. If you put something weird on it and it falls out of the sky, it's not my fault.
Wow, that's with anything, isn't it?
Well, in terms of when you're tuning a copter or plane or whatever in general, but for those people who don't know when you're tuning, if you're not using Milford's great design in terms of PIDs or whatever, don't launch the plane way up into the sky. Keep it just like this far off the ground. I know you're in traffic, but it's not going to break it this high. just
small steps.
Get happy, then go a little higher and so forth. But yeah, don't go like, oh, I'm going to fly at 5 meters and then wonder why it broke. It's just silly.
Yeah.
There you go. But, there you go. Some life tips for you there. And I guess we're getting to the end of this live stream. But what about future projects that you can talk about? Otherwise,
the non-secret stuff. Just like
here we go.
What's a glimpse that they might be able to witness in the future?
I can see something on my desk right there, which is the version 2 prototype of something. I won't show you.
Okay.
But then I'd say something a little bit smaller than the KD7 should be coming.
Okay.
And then something a lot bigger than the KD7 should be coming quite soon after that.
Okay, there you have it, folks. Make sure you stay watching and tune in.
Yeah, exciting stuff. And yes, it's been a pleasure to have you on there, Milford, and it's been fun. And I hope the people out there enjoyed something and took something away from this exciting live stream.
That's right.
Yes, been really good. Thanks so much for having me on. It's been nice to talk about drones. I always like talking about drones. So.
That's right. So just so audiences know, part 1 that we did on the KD7 came out Tuesday this week, and obviously live stream right now. And then the part 2, the final reveal of what the result is next week Tuesday. So make sure you stay tuned to that. And once again, thanks very much, Milford, for joining us today, and thanks everybody, including all the sponsors. Everybody, thanks very much, and it has been great to collaborate with you on this project.
And grab the guitar.
And it's been pretty awesome. So thanks very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it, and I'm glad you guys built one out. Nice stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
We get some music now.
Yeah, we'll do our music thing now.
Okay, well, thanks very much. And I'm Richard. This is Harry, and that's Milford. So thanks very much, everyone. And thank you very much for joining us today, Milford.
Is there anything else you wanted to wrap up with there, Milford?
I think we covered everything. Let's hear some guitar.
Okay.
Okay. I don't have my drum kit here.
Okay, so from London and from New Zealand, we thanks very much for everybody who joined in today.
In the future or now.
That's right. Okay.
So here we go. I'm Harry. This is Richard. That's Milford. And here we go. And 3, 2, 1, go. Hey, show. Yeah. Thank you very much. See you guys next time. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's great. Cheers, guys.